morning. So it is a Sunday. We do have a couple of plans for today. However, one of my main priorities today is to finish my book. If you saw the start of this video, you will have seen that I'm currently reading Scarred by Emily McIntyre, which I am really enjoying. I did struggle with it to start with, but since I've got past the sort of 200 page mark, it's really started to take off, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I have about 100 pages left, so fingers crossed I'll be able to get that one done, and then I can move on to my next read, which I think is going to be a YA thriller. Me and my sister have picked each other's TBRs for the month, and she has picked that one for me. It's called The Agathas, which I'm looking forward to because I'm just loving anything that's YA thriller at the minute. And then I think later on we're going to be taking the girls out for lunch to a little cafe, and then once we get back, the football is on at 2 o'clock, so my husband Tom will be watching that, so that'll be my ideal time to try and get my book finished. But that is it really. I need to set up my books for next week of what I'm going to be reading. I am doing 2 buddy reads. I'm starting 2 buddy reads tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. And then, yeah, that is it really. I have got a mountain of washing that I'm just slowly wading through. I'm one of these people that just leave it all week, and then it gets to the end of the week and then I've got a mountain to do. But yeah, that is that. And then I might come back on later to talk to you about a couple of books I've recently finished, what I rated them and what I thought of them. So that is it. That is the plan for today. However, I might actually go on Dead by Daylight this morning and play a couple of games of that, because we're not going out till about 12ish. So yeah, we'll see. So I have just finished Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I did really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the ending. Like I said, the first sort of 200 pages, it was okay. It was a bit slow, but it was getting better. And then once I hit that 200 page mark, it just completely took off. I really loved the Lion King reference of it. I really enjoyed the sexual tension between the 2 characters, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I am really enjoying it. I read Hooked at the beginning of the year, and I did really enjoy that one. I think I may prefer Hooked a little bit more to Scarred, just because I felt like Hooked really went straight into the story. Yeah, I'm glad I read it, and I can't wait to read more from her. But I'm just nipping to the shop now because I have a Vinted package to pick up, which is another book. So I'm going to go pick that up now, and then go home, chill out for a bit, and then I'll jump back on and talk to you about some of the books that I finished this week and a couple of books that I'm hoping to start next week. So here are a couple of books that I've recently finished. I have finished 2 buddy reads and my own personal read. The first buddy read that I finished was The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. I have absolutely adored this series throughout. Every single book has been 5 stars, and this one was like short stories of each couple 4 years later, and it was just amazing. We didn't take much of a break from reading the series to get into this one, so obviously everything that happened in the other books was still quite fresh. But I can imagine it's quite a nice story to get to if you have had quite a break in between the series. But just being back with these characters, I've absolutely loved it. I am definitely going to be reading more from Elle Kennedy. I did read The Good Girl Complex and Bad Reputation, which I also enjoyed. And I do have the Briar U series as well, but I'm going to be reading another hockey romance, which I'm starting tomorrow, which I'm going to show you shortly. But once that one's done, I'm going to jump straight back into this universe and back to Briar U. And I can't wait, because I've just loved every single one of these books, and I just hope that the Briar U is just going to be the same, and I'm going to love every single book in that series as well. The next book that I finished was also a buddy read, and that was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, which is from the Throne of Glass series. This is actually a reread for me. I am buddy reading this one with my sister Kez. However, this is the first time that she is reading this series, and this is the second time for me. I am loving this series just as much as I did the first time round. Queen of Shadows was actually my favourite of the series the first time round, and the second time round just as much. I am just loving it. It's just hitting so much different the second time round. The foreshadowing in here is amazing, and she just can't do any wrong. I've just loved every single one of her books. We were meant to be starting Empire Storms tomorrow. However, we have decided to take a break from the series, and we are going to be starting something else. Again, I'm going to show you that one in a minute. But if you've not read fantasy or anything like that, or you're thinking about getting into fantasy, I do think that Throne of Glass is a very good place to start, because the world building isn't too intense and the magic system isn't, you know, too much to sort of understand. And the characters are just great. You just fall in love with these characters from the moment you meet them, and it's just such an adventure, and I just absolutely love it. And the third book that I finished this week was Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This one I was really dragging my feet with, because it's the last book of the Chestnut Spring series, and I just didn't want to say goodbye. I have just loved every single one of these books. They have just held such a place in my heart. I definitely fell in love with small town romances because of this series. I just loved it. I would normally read these really fast. Like the others I had read in like 2-3 days, but this one I took my time with, because like I said, I just didn't want it to end. But this one was just really gritty and funny, and it was just really emotional at times as well. I just think that she writes her characters so well, and she just makes you fall in love with them from the start. I know that this author is bringing out a new book this year, and I'm going to jump straight in. I'm going to be pre-ordering that and getting it as soon as it comes out, because I just love the way that she writes, and her writing style is just amazing. I just cannot recommend this series enough. If you love your romances and you love your small towns, but you also love, you know, spice as well, because there is a lot of spice in here. Yeah. And they're quick, easy reads as well. Like, you don't have to really think too much while you're reading them, which I do really like, because even though I am mainly a fantasy girly, they can obviously take up so much space in my brain with certain fantasy books where, you know, there's so much going on. So it is nice to have a little break from that and just jump into a book like this, and yeah, just amazing. Like I said, every single book has been 5 stars. This one is no different, and I'm just so sad that it's over. I am definitely contemplating rereading this series and maybe tabbing it as well. Yeah, I definitely think that these books are going to make my comfort reads when I'm feeling a bit down, or if I'm in a bit of a reading slump. I just know that these books will be able to get me out. Moving on to the buddy reads that I'm going to be starting tomorrow. The first one is Consider Me by Becca Mack. This is the first book in another hockey romance. I am all in on the hockey romance at the minute. I know that everybody is, but I can see why. I really do see the appeal. I am currently reading a hockey romance on my Kindle as well. I've just been reading that one in bed. That one is called Blurred Lines, and it's so good. It's the second book. The first book was called Hidden Scars, and it's been my favourite book of the year so far. So really into my hockey romance at the minute. So I was actually sent this one by the publishers, but I have seen it everywhere. I've seen it on Bookstagram and TikTok, and I do think that the characters in this one are slightly older, which is good, because as much as I love the off-campus series, you know, sometimes I do sort of struggle when the characters are younger. But I'm under the impression that they are older in this one, so I am starting this one tomorrow. It is a bit of a chunky one though. So it's 535 pages, which is quite a beast for a romance. and the writing is quite small. So I do think this is going to take a while for us to get through because we are just doing 30 pages a day. But yeah, I'm excited. I've had this one on my shelf for a very long time, so I'm looking forward to finally getting it. The final book that I'm going to be reading is Threads That Bind. I have had this on my shelf for quite a while. I am buddy reading this one with my sister Kez. She has the Fairy Loot edition, whereas I have the Waterstones edition. So I think rather than doing page numbers, we normally do like 30 pages a day. I think we're going to have to do chapters a day because my writing is tiny in this one, and she said that hers isn't. So looking forward to getting to this one. It is a fantasy read as well. I haven't read anything from this author before, so I am looking forward to getting stuck in because I just love meeting new characters, new worlds. I just love starting new books, especially fantasy books. Meeting new characters, meeting new worlds, new magic systems. It's just perfect for me. It's just, I will completely get myself lost within these fantasy books, and I think this one is just going to be really good as well. I have heard some good things from this one. One of my book friends has said that she absolutely loved it. So, and we do have very similar tastes, so I think I'm probably going to really enjoy this one as well. So yeah, starting that one tomorrow, and consider me. I did want to start the Agathas tonight, however, I'm a bit burnt out. I think usually if I do finish a book, I don't tend to pick up a book straight away afterwards. I do tend to sort of give myself a break and then start one the following day. So I think I'm just gonna have a little break tonight from reading. Me and Tom are going to be trying a new TV series that we haven't seen because we've just finished School Spirits and we absolutely loved it. We binged it. So we're going to try and find a new TV series tonight. And that's it. Yeah. That is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Like I said, I am still very new to this, so please bear with me. But if you did like it, please can you like it and subscribe? That would be amazing. And I will be back soon with some more videos. Thanks.